Hi, I hope you're having a good Sunday. So today I wanted to talk about the power of intermittent fasting and also launch it as a challenge because we have a new week starting next week, Monday on. And I feel it's always good that we have some new challenge or some new lifestyle that we can engage ourselves in. So let's start off right with the power of intermittent fasting. Well, fasting has been in our culture for decades and decades. And over late, it's also become a fad. We have certain kinds of fasts which are good for you and certain kinds of fasts which are bad for you. Today, I want to talk about intermittent fasting. I have been promoting the water fast as well, where you fast for 24 hours only on water, and sometimes you do it for 2 days and then 3 days. It happens with practice. But you see, most people fail at fasting because they think it's just something that you start doing. But you have to understand, according to your lifestyle, your situation, the kind of work that you do, the kind of environment that you live in, the kind of stress levels that you currently have. Do you have a medical condition? Do you have a lot of weight to lose? Everything always has to be personalized. So all the information that I talk about is generic in nature. Now you need to understand that you need to see if that works for you and your lifestyle, your body type, your mind, your emotional health at that particular point, and then do it. And that's why most diets fail, because people take a diet, they do a diet without seeing, is it personalized for my body type or for my current lifestyle? Well, intermittent fasting plays a role, right? From hair loss to losing weight, to cancer, to diabetes, to cardiovascular problems, to kidney problems, you name it, and fasting has its place in healing. I do a lot of work in Mexico, and what Mexico has that the world doesn't have is something called fasting incubators. They have these little fasting pods where people can go in an environment where you're surrounded by nature, where you don't have the smell of food, there's no noise from the city, and you fast for 9 days, 10 days, 15 days, 20 days, and 30 days. And we've seen how people's cancers get better. We've seen how people get their eyesight back. People who have not heard for years from one particular ear get their hearing back, because fasting has the power to heal. And let me explain how that works. You see, your digestive system uses almost 75 to 80% of your body energy, which means you have roughly 20% or 15% of energy for all of your other activities, including your mental and emotional mind, which requires a lot of energy through every point of the day. Now, what happens is, if you notice, when an animal, or for that matter, a human being falls sick, in most cases, you lose your appetite first. This is the human body's natural defense mechanism to protect and to heal. By cutting down appetite, what happens is your digestive system slows down and eventually shuts down. And all that energy, be it 60 or 70 or 80% of that energy, now goes towards healing you. It's your immunity working. You see, every symptom that you have, most symptoms that you have, is your body doing the right thing for you at the right time. But we humans like to interfere with that symptom. We immediately want to jump up and try and repair it or heal it or treat it with a tablet or a pill, and that's where we compromise immunity. Most symptoms is your body doing the right thing for you at the right time. A fever, increased energy because certain pathogens, bacteria, and viruses cannot survive at a particular temperature. So your body raises your temperature to 100 or 101 or 102 or 103 or even 104 degrees to do its work to protect you. Okay, we have diarrhea. Your body's trying to push out. It's trying to eject some bug that you have, some stomach bug that you picked up from food or the air that you breathe or something that you're on. Okay? So when we vomit as well, vomiting is the body's natural mechanism to push something out of your system. It's good, we should go through these symptoms at times, and when it becomes unbearable or when it becomes something that you need to treat it, you treat it at the right time. But we human beings have become so used to comfort and convenience, and we can't live 15 minutes or 30 minutes being uncomfortable. We are trained to be comfortable all the time, because you look around the world, everyone, every business, whatever anyone is trying to do is to sell you comfort, because we human beings look to buy comfort. We human beings look to buy convenience. So you can buy food everywhere. You have fast food joints. You have 24-hour coffee shops open to give you food. Comfort, convenience. You have a pill that will take away your pain. Comfort and convenience again. You have fast food. But that's our problem. It interferes with immunity. So now fasting has... Our ancestors fasted for medical reasons and spiritual reasons as well. intermittent fasting will also improve your spiritual health, because you can meditate best on an empty stomach. You can meditate best when you're not breaking down those carbohydrates and sugars and proteins and all of that stuff, which also requires brain function and keeps sending signals and hormones to your brain, because digestion does just that. So it improves your spirituality as well, because you try fasting and then you try meditating while you're fasting, and you will notice a remarkable difference. Anyway, let's talk about how you do intermittent fasting. So we're looking at a 14-hour window or a 16-hour window of complete fasting. India, we've got it wrong when we come to fasting. I meet so many people who come to me with weight loss issues and diabetes, and they say, oh, we fast 2 days in a week. And I'm like, you shouldn't be here then. But then their fast has fruits and fruit juices and nuts, or some people even who have something called a sabudana fast, where they're eating only sabudana throughout the day. And they say, that's a fast. Well, sorry, that is not a fast. When we talk about fasting, we talk about complete removal of food from that window period. All you can do is have water. No tea, no coffee, no lemon water. So America has made intermittent fasting kind of appealing, because, you know, half of America, I shouldn't say just America, half of India now cannot do without their morning cup of chai or their morning cup of coffee. So to make something work, they've thrown in that tea or coffee. But let me tell you, your intermittent fasting will not give you all the benefits that it should really give you. Okay, it's a great start if you can do 16 hours of fasting with just a cup of coffee or tea. I'm more worried about how acidic that makes you, and then it takes away the whole benefit of a fast if it's leaving you with an acidic body, because we all know that an acidic body is what breeds diseases, right from diabetes to cancer to cardiovascular to hair fall to the inability to lose weight. The more acidic you are, the more problems you have. So if we're doing the intermittent fast, we're going to do it the right way. You may start off with a 12-hour window, great, then take it to 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 hours is what we're aiming for. And then that 16 hours becomes so easy, you may then be able to launch into the 24-hour water fast, which is absolutely fantastic for your immunity, weight, and everything else. So for example, today, if we finish our dinner by 8 o'clock tonight, 8 o'clock tomorrow morning will be 12 hours. Add 4 hours to that, so that's 8 to 9, 10, 11, 12. At 12 o'clock, you have your lunch or you have your breakfast. However, it fits into your day. So for 16 hours, you have only water. Okay? Fasting is natural to us. If you look, we sleep for usually 7 to 8 hours. That's recommended for good health anyway. That's a period of fasting anyway. That is a period of fasting. Your body automatically puts you in a fast when you're sleeping, because detoxification happens while you sleep, which is why when you wake up in the morning, you have dirt in your eyes, your mouth smells, your first urine is warm and more acidic. It signifies that there was a detoxification process that happened while you slept. So for people who don't sleep the right amount of hours, they always are toxic. They have hormonal imbalances, and all of that connects to all of the issues we have today, ranging from thyroid to cancer to the inability to lose weight. So for today, the challenge for next week is select 2 days. I recommend 3 days, because believe me, by the third day, you realize how easy intermittent fasting is, and then you can make it a way of life, or you can choose to do it every Monday or Tuesday after your weekend, or do it after a holiday. You fit it into your lifestyle. If I say do it on Tuesday, you don't have to do it on Tuesday. You can do it on Wednesday. You can do it on Saturday. You can do it on Sunday. What I need you to understand is the concept and how it works for your body. So I strongly recommend, because the first day you will get those hunger cravings. The second day, yes, more out of your attachment to a breakfast. The attachment of an idea of breakfast. We're attached to that idea of a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, or sitting down and having your poha, or idlis, or your eggs, or whatever it is. We're more attached to the idea of that. So the first day, second day, by the third day, believe me, you will feel so happy, because you will now realize you have the power to do a 16-hour fast, which is so beneficial. It's a habit and a lifestyle you should make right now. It's going to take you a long way in life, because then when you are sick, you will use intermittent fasting to heal. Now, don't get me wrong out there, because each disease is different for each body. So although intermittent fasting is fantastic for cancer, it depends on which stage you're at. It depends on the stage of your treatment. Are you doing chemo? Are you doing radiation? Are you between cycles? You can't just be on chemo and do an intermittent fast. That's going to be disastrous for your health. So when I'm talking generically. But if you want to explore further, it's always very important that you seek professional advice, because intermittent fasting while you have a cancer can be beneficial to healing. Diabetes as well, but the first question for many people who have diabetes who are watching this right now, what about my sugar levels? What about my medication? Well, guess what? You got to track it. You got to start looking at how your sugar levels get impacted when you fast. Your first fear will be, will I go into hypo? Yeah, you may go into hypo depending on your stage of diabetes right now, but that doesn't mean that you don't explore it under supervision. Because when you intermittent fast, guess what? Your insulin sensitivity gets better. The way your body handles insulin gets better. So you can actually start healing your diabetes when you start intermittent fasting, along with a whole load of other lifestyle changes you make. So you may have all these questions. Like I said, seek professional advice if you have a condition and you want to use intermittent fasting to heal you. It's very, very powerful. A few months ago, we did the fruits to lunch detox. That is not a fast, that is a detox. So this is very different from that, where you have fruits only from breakfast to lunchtime. Thousands of you posted your benefits of doing that fast. That's great. It is a detox, it is not a fast. A fast is completely only water and nothing but water. No lemon in your water as well, because the whole idea is to shut down your digestive system completely and sustain on water for 14 to 16 hours. Now tomorrow you may be able to sustain for 12 hours. That's a great job done. The next day may be 13 and then 14 and then 15 and 16. Take one step at a time. If you do 16 outright, that's great. But if you've done 12, build it up to 16. And that's how you do an intermittent fast. It is so powerful because our bodies today are used to constant eating of food, and then all of these myths of eating every 2 hours, and then to build a body, you need to eat more protein and eat more fats and eat more carbohydrates. But if you're that person who wants to look at increasing the quality of your life and the length of your life, you will find that calorie restriction is the way forward, which means you don't eat to starve, but you eat exactly how much your body needs, and sometimes you put it into a phase of fasting, because while you fast, so much of repair work happens in your body. There are new cells that are being regenerated. Your immune system is being regenerated, which is why fasting is fantastic for your immunity. Have a good Sunday, everyone. Join me in this challenge starting from tomorrow, be it 1 day, 2 days, or 3 days. Intermittent fasting from the time you finish dinner tonight, 16 hours or 14 hours. That's when your next meal is going to be. Start off with a breakfast, start off with a lunch, wherever you are. You may want to start off with a fruit, simple carb, line your stomach, and then move on to a meal. You don't want to start off with a spicy meal. You definitely don't want to break your fast with junk food. Have a good evening, everyone. Until next time, eat smart, move more, sleep right, and breathe deep.